fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull when you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Head and D tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Rushi, with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome everyone to another Fish Report Live. I'm Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. And back in our sound room are TK and Heavy D, the guys making all the phone calls, running the cameras, pretty much doing everything for us, Ken.
Yes, they do. I tell you what, they're a hard-working crew back here, and it sure is nice when they're both back here.
All right, well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about some league races. Believe it or not, we're going to be talking a little bit of tournament tonight, and we're actually going to be talking about a couple girls, or boys and girls, that joined the 1,000 Point Club here recently. And Ken, let me ask you something. Going back to your high school, you were a 1,000 point scorer, weren't you?
No, I was not a 1,000 point scorer, Craig. I was just a couple hundred times 4 short.
All right. Well, anyway, I know you know what these athletes go through. What's it take for someone to score 1,000 points?
Well, Craig, first of all, you got to have a lot of God-given talent. You can't, you're not going to score a lot of points without a lot of talent. You've got to be healthy for 4 years. You've got to have great teammates. You've got to have a great coaching staff, one that believes in you, one that gives you those opportunities when you're only a freshman or, say, a sophomore early in your career to actually play. And also, Craig, I think the toughest thing that these kids go through nowadays is mental toughness. I think, so many of these kids in the fall, they play volleyball, run cross country, or they play football. Basketball season comes along in the wintertime. After that's over, they immediately roll into baseball or softball or JO volleyball or something. So it's just like there's no stopping for these kids, these athletes. So there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows during a basketball season. They're going to have games when they're missing shots, the shots they should be making. But to stay mentally tough, Craig, I think is the toughest challenge that these kids go through.
Yeah, it's a big milestone, and we've actually seen several people hit 1,000 here recently. Actually, just Tuesday night, we saw Sarah Kenny over there at Coldwater. Yeah, the same Sarah Kenny that's winning cross-country titles and track titles actually got 1,000 points in basketball last night, and we're going to be talking to a couple 1,000-point scorers tonight, aren't we?
Yes, we are, Craig. Really looking forward to talking to Rushi senior Lady Raider Kylie Wilson. Been following Kylie's basketball career for many years. She's a star on the basketball floor as well as the volleyball court, and she just scored her 1,000th point Tuesday night at Jackson Center. She helps lead the Raiders, helping to lead the Raiders to a very successful season. And then, Craig, we're going over to CCC land. We're going to talk to the star of the Tri-Village Patriots, their senior, Colton Linkous. He recently joined the 1,000 Point Club a few weeks ago. Looking forward to talking to him and seeing what he has to say about his #1 ranked Tri-Village Patriots.
Yeah, a couple good interviews there. Looking forward to those. But before we get to those, just like we do every week, we have a weekly trivia question. And what do you have for me tonight?
Well, Craig, speaking of Kylie Wilson,
okay,
all right,
yep.
You last Tuesday night, she scored her 1,000th point at Jackson Center High School. Let's go back earlier in her career. Where did Kylie score her first varsity point for the Rushi Raiders? Was it at Rushi High School, Sydney High School, Mississinawa Valley, or Houston?
How do you come up with some of these questions? Do you know this?
I know the answer because I was there. I had a vested interest in Kylie just having a freshman boy the same time she was. I was at the game. I remember it well.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, listen, I wasn't there, so I'm going to need a little help on this one. And if you're watching us on the Fish Report live page right now, you can scroll down, check out the trivia question there. Give us an answer. You can check your results out. If you're watching us on NK Telco Cable TV Channel 3, we will have those results for you at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started, and let's talk a little SCAL girls basketball. We've been talking all season about the Fort Laramie Redskins and leading this league, and they still are, but they got, I guess you say, a couple chinks in their armor in the past week, haven't they?
Yes, they have, Craig. They actually lost a league game to the Anna Rockets, Craig, their first league loss of the season. And then Tuesday night, Craig, they went over to Marion Local challenged the number 1 team in Ohio, the Marion Local Flyers, Craig, and they lost that one, Craig, a tough loss, 49-42 to Marion Local. So they've actually lost a couple games now. They're sitting at 15-3. However, Craig, they are still 9-1 in the league, and coupled with Rushie's loss last night, the Raiders are sitting at 7-3. So the Redskins have clinched no worse than a tie for the Shelby County League Championship. Anna and Jackson Center tied there for third place, knocking on the Raiders' door just 1 game back.
All right, well, those Anna Rockets actually playing real well here lately. They've won 5 in a row. I believe their last loss was actually to Rushi, but been playing exceptionally well lately. Fortunately, the rest of the Shelby County League doesn't have to face those guys, of course, in the tournament because they're Division III. Everyone else is Division IV, I believe.
Yes, and a lot of balance there in the Shelby County League, Craig, with Fort Laramie, like we said at the top. But, Jackson Center having a great year, Houston, and even Fairlawn sitting at 8-12 overall. Just 2-9 in the Shelby County League, but 8-12 overall. So that shows their strength.
Yeah, Fairlawn actually beat Jackson Center, the same team that beat Rushi. So you're right, a little bit of parity there in the league. All right, Ken, well, that team sitting in second place that you mentioned is the Rushi Raiders, and one big reason for that is one of their senior stars over there, Kylie Wilson. She's been a big part of the Raiders program, like you said, for the last 4 years. She was actually a first-team All-SCAL player last year as a junior, first-team All-SCAL player as a sophomore, and she's just like you said, recently scored her 1,000th point on Tuesday night. We're happy to have her live on the phone right now. Kylie, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, well, listen, first of all, congratulations on that big milestone Tuesday night. We just talked about how, what kind of stuff you have to do to achieve a milestone like that, things like have good teammates, staying healthy, that kind of thing. And, talk about that moment, though, a little bit, Kylie. Were you nervous at all going into that game last night? What were your thoughts on all of it?
Yeah, I was obviously really nervous. There were a lot of people there, and I've been struggling with foul shots, so once I got fouled, I was kind of nervous because I was hoping to get a quick bunny and just kind of get it over with. But, everyone knew it was coming, and I didn't really want to disappoint, so I was just kind of praying I'd make the shot.
All right, well, listen, we're going to show some pictures on our monitor right now of you celebrating that big milestone. I believe the first one we got looks like they made a cake for you, so there's a picture of that. And then we got some pictures of you and your family, I believe. We got one with your sister there, and actually your mom and dad. And then I don't know about this other guy here. This guy looks like maybe Heavy D from the Sounder. I'm not sure how he got in that one. I don't really think he's part of the family, but anyway, some nice pictures.
I snuck in a quick selfie.
All right, well, some nice pictures of you there. But talk about your family a little bit, Kylie, and what kind of role they've played in your success these past 4 years.
They're obviously huge supporters of mine, and Mom and Dad have gone to probably every game I've played since 5th grade, volleyball and basketball included. They always cheer me on and go to the gym for if I need some extra shots before a big game or if I'm struggling with foul shots. And my sister Cameo, obviously, she looks up to me, and so I know I need to show her how to be a good leader and to work hard and how much it pays off.
Hi, Kylie. This is Ken. Let's go back to the Jackson Center game Tuesday night. Obviously, it was a big game for you. You scored your 1,000th point, but the game did not go quite the way the Raiders wanted it to. A loss to the Tigers at their place. What did Jackson Center do well, but maybe more importantly, what do the Raiders need to improve upon on that loss?
Jackson just had a great game yesterday. They were shooting lights out. Cassie Meyer and Nicole Foe hit a few really key threes for them, and we just couldn't stop them, and we came out really slow. I don't know if it was a long ride to Jackson or we just weren't ready to play them, and we gave them too large of a lead at half, and we just couldn't keep up. They just played awesome. We just need to come out faster and have more energy for the next game.
Speaking of your next game, Kylie, it will be Bokkens on Saturday at Rushi. Will be your last home game in a Rushi Raider uniform. Let's talk about you've been starting since your freshman year. You've played a lot of volleyball games. You've played a lot of basketball games in Rushi's gymnasium. What's the emotions going to be like on Saturday?
It'll obviously be sad. Last time. Just postseason's coming.
Well, speaking of the postseason, obviously we don't want to look past the Bachans-Trojans game on Saturday. But, last year we had a great team. We lost in the district finals. Very close game to Felicity Franklin. What are the goals like this year, and what do the Raiders need to do to make a very good deep tournament run?
Well, we're hoping to make it to regionals like we did back when I was a freshman, because that was a really fun year. And I think during tournament, most of the team would really like to play Felicity Franklin again, because I think I can speak for everyone when we say they left a bad taste in our mouth, and we just have some unfinished business, and we'd like to play them again. But there's some teams we like to stay away, and some teams we think we match up well with. But I think a lot of us just want to play Felicity Franklin again.
Hey, Kylie, I want to go back to your answer again about playing in the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium. We kind of lost our sound there a little bit, and I thought you gave a pretty good answer, but Ken asked you about your emotions of playing there for the last time. Can you kind of explain that again, what it's going to be like for you there? Like I said, we lost our sound there for a second, and what's it going to be like for you on Saturday?
It'll definitely be bittersweet because it's nearing the end of the senior season, but it'll also be pretty exciting because postseason's coming soon, so we know the tournament's coming soon. So we'll both be happy and sad.
All right. Well, listen, one more question. We'll let you go. But after you close out this basketball season and your stellar career that you've had at Russia, what's the plans for next fall? What are you playing, basketball or volleyball anywhere?
I had originally wanted to play volleyball, but, a couple months ago I just decided that I'm just kind of ready to just focus on my studies and just be done with sports. So I'm not planning on playing anything as of now, maybe some intramurals or clubs.
Well, wherever you go to college, Kylie, I'll make sure that the other students know to pick you up for an intramural volleyball team or a basketball team. How's that sound?
That sounds good. I'm hoping to do that.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for joining us on our show tonight. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, and good luck to you the rest of the season, and go Lady Raiders.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
All right, that was Russia Raiders senior Kylie Wilson, and I want to go back to the sound room now, guys. Let's talk about this Russia team a little bit. The record right now, they're 11-8 overall, which is it's okay. It's not outstanding. It's okay, but yet I feel like this is a team that really on any given night is capable of beating anyone. TK, what do you think about that?
I'd have to agree, Craig. You always have those losses during the year, which you really regret, but they've got 5 losses against state-ranked teams. One's a D1 team in Sydney, a D3 team in Versailles, and then the losses to Laramie and Marion Local, who are D4 and ranked in the state. So really tough competition, which we've always play every year. So you got to take a lot from those close games and take that kind of momentum into the tournament. Forget about the other night's bad loss, and like you said, learn from it a little bit. But think about those tough games that you almost pulled off, and take that kind of momentum into the tournament, and then go from there.
Yeah. And Heavy D, with the tournament draw coming up this Saturday, let's talk about it a little bit, or this weekend, talk about it a little bit. I mean, this is basically the same group of Raiders from last season, isn't it?
Yeah, they lost senior captain Maggie Kearns, but these girls have had a lot of tournament experience. As freshmen, they made it to they were on dress varsity and made it to the regional semifinal game against Fort Laramie. So they got a taste of cutting down the nets at district there, and made decent runs the next 2 years. So there's a lot of returning lettermen this year. They got a lot of experience, and like Tim said, TK said they've been playing the state ranked teams pretty solidly all year, so look for them to make a good run at it.
I agree. And one girl they have, Ken, actually, that they didn't have last year, they have a healthy Claudia Monin this year. Last year she was out with an ACL injury. I think she'll be definitely an asset come tournament time.
She's definitely making a big difference on this year's team, Craig. Claudia is. And as well as Craig, I think a little more experienced Maria Herron. I like the way Maria plays on the floor. She's just a sophomore, Craig, but, boy, she plays with a lot of emotion, really knows the game well, and she brings a lot of energy to that team. So, I think with all the seniors they've got, a lot of good senior leadership. They've got, Lauren Heaton, an extremely quick point guard. They've got a very talented sophomore, like I said, in Maria Herron, and they got great height. I just think they can make a nice run in the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, listen, that's going to do it for the first half of our show. We're going to take a quick break, but stay right there because when we come back, we're going to be talking to one of the stars of the #1 team in the state of Ohio. You don't want to miss that, folks. We'll be right back.
Well, I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to do? You got me acting a fool. I'm digging on your home. I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to do? You got me black and blue. I'm digging on your home. I've been watching from my window, and I just can't get my eyes off of you, girl. You don't know me, you don't know I'm looking. Oh, how I wish to be part of your world. Well, I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to? You got me acting a fool. I'm digging on your home. I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to? You got me black and blue. I'm digging on your home. Well, I'm hypnotized by every expression in the way you run your fingers through your hair. Would you find this romantic? Oh, a little bit frightening to know that you are never, ever alone. Well, I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to? You got me acting a fool. I'm digging on your home. I'm digging on you. I'm digging on your home. What's poor boy to? You got me black and blue. I'm digging on your home.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. And Ken, before the break, we were talking about the SCAL girls. And one conference we haven't really talked about yet this season is the Cross County Conference boys. And even though they haven't mathematically decided things over there yet, I think a lot of fans feel like that conference was decided last Friday night when Tri-Village and Miami East hooked up.
Yes, they did, Craig. They hooked up over at Tri-Village. Tri-Village won convincingly, Craig. They're sitting at 9-0 in the league right now. Miami East at 7-1. Twin Valley South at 7-2. And there's a D3 team there, Craig, that really took Tri-Village right down to the wire. So that's an interesting team to watch down the D3 trail. Mississinawa Valley having a nice year under first-year coach Tim Bargy, sitting at 6-2 in the league. So, but like you said, the CCC pretty much wrapped up. Tri-Village sitting at 9-0, undefeated on the season, ranked number 1 in the state of Ohio, Division 4.
All right, well, one note about that Miami East game was they were actually without their star over there, 6'5", a guy by the name of Damian Maxey. He broke his hand, I guess, that past Tuesday, and so certainly that played into Tri-Village's hands a little bit there. But again, it seems like Tri-Village is going to walk away with that conference title, whereas last year they split it, I believe, with Franklin Monroe.
Yes, they did. You know, Franklin Monroe lost a lot off of last year's team, and you did make a big point there. Miami East not having their star player over there, but you know, again, Tri-Village, very good team this year, Craig, and led by a couple seniors themselves.
All right, well, one of the Tri-Village players that came up big in that Miami East game, just like he has all season, is their senior over there, Colton Linkous. Colton had a game-high 26 points last Friday night, Ken. He also recently became the newest member of the Patriots 1,000-point club a couple weeks ago. We're happy to have him live on the phone right now. Colton, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
No, thank you.
All right, well, listen, we were just talking to another 1,000-point scorer from Russia a little earlier on our show. You actually got your 1,000-point in a win over Tri-County North a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, how did you celebrate, Colton? Did they give you the game ball? Did you go out to eat afterwards? Fill us in a little.
You know, I was in shock. I was shooting a free throw because I just got fouled. And after I made the first free throw, Coach called a timeout, and I was in shock. I was surprised he called a timeout. And he called me over there. I went over there. He gave me the ball, told me congratulations on scoring 1,000 points. And I ran the ball up to my mom and my dad, gave them hugs, and then went back down, shot my other free throw, and just kept playing.
All right, well, that's good. Yeah. Good stuff. And, Colton, if we look back real quick on last year, last year I just mentioned you split the CCC championship with Franklin Monroe. You guys actually finished the season as the number 2 ranked team in Ohio behind Convoy Crestview, who eventually beat you guys in the state semis. This year things seem to be going even better, and you've done it after graduating another 1,000-point scorer last year in Tyler Cook. Explain to me, Colton, why everyone on the Patriots team this year seems to be playing even better than last year right now.
We lost 2 key players last year, Tommy Bell and Tyler Cook, and we all knew that we all have to step up next year and get better and contribute in different ways. So we all got in the gym over the summer and the off season and put in time and work to put us where we are today and succeed how we are right now. So
Cool.
We're all just playing to our potential. So.
Colton, hi. This is Ken Francis. We cover our Russia Raiders over here quite a bit. We were obviously at the game, the Flying to the Hoop game, when our Russia Raiders took on your Patriots on January 17th. It was a thrill for everybody to be in that gym. Just a great atmosphere, great facility, just one of the top showcases in the nation to participate in. Tell us about your experience there, your game versus Russia, and some of your thoughts looking back on that day.
Like you said, it's a top showcase in the United States, and for us to get to play in that is something special. We got to play Russia, like you said, and we brought a big crowd there, brought a big crowd, and it was something special to play at a big environment like that.
One of your teammates this year is Damian Cook. Obviously, Damian's a great player. We're going to look back on last year's game versus Convoy Crestview. In the background, we have senior Damian Helm from Crestview celebrating the victory. What motivates the Patriots this year to potentially get back or to make a deep tournament run?
Our coach Sagerster always tells us to keep the winning tradition going. And when we lost that game, everyone came to my room, and we promised each other that we would put in the work and time to get back to Columbus and finish what we have started. And we just want to keep the winning tradition at Tri-Village going and get back to Columbus.
As well as your boys' team has played there this year, Colton, your girls' team's not far behind. They're sitting at 18-1, ranked number 4 in the state of Ohio. Explain the atmosphere just that basketball has created at Tri-Village High School.
We just now got football, so we're known for basketball, and for both of us and the girls to be winning and playing good basketball is something big, and the town comes and supports us. So, us, the girls and us, we support each other every single night, and we root for each other. So to see both of us doing well is something big.
All right, Colton, listen, one more question and we'll let you go. But you come from a family that's been pretty successful in basketball. I'm told your dad actually played in the state finals when he was in school. And it wasn't too long ago that your sister, Kayla, was racking up the numbers over there at Tri-Village. I think she ended her career with over 2,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds. Can you fill us in a little bit on Kayla, how she's doing? I think she's over there at Cedarville right now. How's her basketball career been going?
She's been playing really well lately. She's played since her freshman year, and she's got playing time. And, me and her put in a lot of work together over the summer, so to see her succeed the way she is pretty neat. She's been player of the week many times, and it's just a great thing seeing your sister succeed.
All right, well, that's great stuff, Colton. Listen, we're going to let you go, but want to thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope that our Russia Raiders may run into you Tri-Village Patriots on the tournament trail somewhere down the road. Does that sound good?
Yes, sir, it does. Hey, thanks for having me.
Sounds great. Thanks, Colton.
Thank you.
All right, that was Tri-Village senior Colton Linkous. And Ken, you mentioned a picture that actually we didn't have to show tonight, but do have there was a fish report picture that we've shown on the website before at the end of that Convoy Crestview game last year at the state semis. Damian Cook standing there on the foul line in the back. Convoy Crestview, one of their stars, Damian Helm, who's since graduated, back there celebrating. And it really kind of, you can see the look in both their eyes. One's awfully happy and one's awfully sad. And that one that was sad's coming back this year, so you better look out for those guys.
Yeah, it's got a tough trail for Tri-Village as well as all those other D4 teams, Craig. The districts are going to be tough. The sectionals are going to be tough. The districts are going to be tough. And the regionals are even going to be tougher yet. So whoever in D4 gets out of the districts and the regional, definitely, Craig, is going to earn it this year.
All right, well, listen, we got a couple minutes left. I want to get to this real quick, but that's the SCAL boys. And this Friday night, there's a big league game coming up that could potentially decide who wins the Shelby County Athletic League, isn't it?
Big showdown, Craig, and definitely the winner of Friday night's game will be in the driver's seat. Right now, Russia and Jackson Center sitting tied at the top of the league standings. Both 8-1 overall, both sitting with 3 losses overall. The two teams got together several weeks ago, played at Russia. Russia came away with a 48-44 victory. It was a very close game, Craig. I look for nothing different this coming Friday night at Jackson Center. I know Russia's been playing very well. Jackson Center's been playing very well. It's going to be a hard-nosed tough. Every possession, Craig, is going to count. It's going to be one of these where you're on the edge of your seat, and like I said, the possessions in the first quarter are going to be as important as the possession in the fourth quarter because it's going to be a nail-biter the whole way.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game, and whoever wins that game is going to control their own destiny. Of course, a couple league games to go yet, and a couple tough ones, but again, the winner of that is pretty much in the driver's seat. And I do want to talk about Russia real quickly, Ken. Again, we got to watch them play a good game last Saturday against their backyard rival, Versailles Tigers, a very good team over there, and a very close game. Versailles ended up coming out on top on that one. But, I wanted to ask you about the play of one of their guys, Jacob Plyman, a guy we haven't really talked about all season, haven't heard a lot about. And I thought, he kind of had a coming out there, had a pretty good game.
He did, Craig. He got off to a fast start this year, Craig, and then, he kind of went through kind of a mid-season lull there, Craig, where he was kind of just inactive, if you would, But he had a good game Friday night against Houston, even though it was a blowout victory by the Raiders. It gave Jacob a lot of confidence, and then he came back Saturday against Versailles, had a couple nice offensive rebounds, a few stickbacks. So it's good to see Jacob Plyman getting back after it. He's got to clean up on the boards, Craig, and for the Raiders to be successful down the tournament trail, you got to have 6'6" Jacob Plyman playing well for you. And, I think he's coming around. He had a good weekend last week.
Yeah, just my thoughts and just my thoughts. But, your two big scores in that game were, of course, Gavin Hoying and Nolan Francis. And I see those guys as the facilitators of that Russia rotation. And I think most of the time things are going to go through them. But, again, in order for them to ultimately be successful, I think, they have to get guys like Jacob Plyman, Bryce Godiner, Jordan Garrity, and Adam Hoying, guys like that involved if they're going to be successful down the road.
You're right. They need to have a well-balanced scoring attack, Craig. Two scores, Gavin and Nolan, like you said. But it's great to get contributions, and they have all year from whether it be Dave York or Jordan Garrity or Justin Garrity or whoever it might be. But they need to continue to get that support throughout the starting lineup and off the bench.
All right, well, we're about out of time, and one more thing we got to get to, Ken, is that tonight's trivia question, so we're going to go back to girls basketball. Why don't you give me our trivia question again, and we'll check with the guys on the telemetrics.
Well, we spoke about Kylie Wilson, Craig, at Jackson Center the other night. She scored her 1,000th career point. The question is, where did she score her first varsity basketball point at?
All right, well, listen, I know Kylie was playing back as a freshman. I know Russia typically opens their season with Sydney. Sydney played at Russia this year, so her freshman year would have been at Sydney. I can't imagine Kylie playing at Sydney her freshman year in the first game. So I'm going to take Sydney out of the equation. Miss Senegal Valley, I've never known them to be on our schedule, so I'm going to take them out of the equation. So that leaves either Russia or Houston. And we've played more games at Russia than Houston her freshman year, so I'm going to go with Russia. Guys, let's check with them first, though. Well, what's the telemetrics say?
Well, you might be overthinking this, Craig. You are right. The Russia Raiders open against Sydney every year, and an overwhelming majority said that Kylie Wilson scored her first career point at Sydney, first game of her freshman year.
I'm going against the viewers because I don't.
72%.
I can't imagine her
I was
playing
there.
the first game her freshman year. Well, I'm going to ask Ken. What's the answer?
All right, Craig.
I'm going with Rushi.
Well, I was there too, and your answer is wrong. You should have went with heavy duty
72%.
telemetrics. The right answer is at Sydney High School, her freshman year, opening night. Bonus question for anybody in the studio: how many points did she score?
15.
Lower.
I'm going to go with 2.
12.
12. That's a good start to
That's
your
a
high
great
school career.
start to your high school career. Coming
I
out.
did the math that game. I figured, okay, 100 games she's going to play times 12. I had her at 1,000 points from day one. Honest engine.
Oh, boy.
All right, that's good stuff.
That is good stuff, and that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Before we go, I do want to say special thanks to our guests, Kylie Wilson, of course, and Colton Linkous from Tri-Village, who you just heard from. Ken and I and the crew, we're all going to be back again next week, same time, same place, whether you like us or not. But until then, have a great rest of the week, everyone, and good night.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging